Welcome back, everybody. In this lesson today, we're going to be talking about the molinete, which is a very common step in the tango vocabulary. And you'll find yourself using the pieces of the molinete step, of the molinete sequence, quite a bit. It's sort of the kind of concept that ends up permeating a lot of other types of movements in tango. So to understand the basic of this particular movement is sort of essential if you want to progress to other more complicated moves in tango. So let me show you what it looks like. In open embrace, the leader is going to be the center and the follower is going to be going around the leader in a pattern of steps. The follower goes forward, side, back, side, forward. And we can do it in either direction. Forward, side, back, side, forward. Okay? So the molinete is made up of the grapevine steps, and the grapevine step actually exists in all dances, whether you're talking about solo dancing or partner dancing. And if we were to take this pattern of steps and put it on a line, it would look like this. It would be side, back, side, forward. And you can do it in either direction. Okay? So when you put that pattern of steps on a circle, it ends up looking like the molinete that Eve just demonstrated. Now, this is the thing that's very important to understand about the molinete. And it's one of the very few rules, very few preset agreements that you have with your partner. And that is, you don't have to lead the individual steps of the molinete. The follower will automatically do the molinete step as long as they feel the lead to go around the leader in a direction. So my job as a leader is just to open the door and start rotating, revolving like I am a revolving door, and give the follower the space to go, and she will execute the steps in the timing and the pattern that she's supposed to. Why do I emphasize that? Is because a lot of times the followers will ask me, well, what step am I supposed to do here versus here when they're going around? And I tell them, if you're not being told anything else, if you don't feel any other lead, if the space opens up to the left or to the right, your job is to just begin to walk in that pattern. And you can enter that pattern from any step, forward, back, or side. So for example, here, I'm going to start the pattern with the follower's back step. She's going to go back, side, forward, side, and she'll just keep going in this pattern as long as I keep turning. My job as a leader is to lead the interruption. So when I want her to stop, I lead the interruption of that turn and create something different so I can redirect and go the other direction. So followers, you'll be doing this step on your own. You don't need to be told to do that particular pattern. Just remember it's this forward, side, back, side, forward. And the other thing I want to point out is that there's one of the steps that's done in the quick timing as a default, and that's the back step. So the follower goes forward, side, back, side, forward. So that back side is done in quick timing. Partially, I think that developed because it's such an awkward step for the follower to do. It requires a lot of dissociation and spiraling. So I think the step kind of evolved to just quickly move through that position and get as quickly as possible to the position that's a little bit more powerful and comfortable to do. I want to also point out that the molinete step is going to look a little bit different in open embrace versus close embrace because of the proximity. When I'm in open embrace, my follower has a lot of possibility for dissociation, for spiraling. So she can go forward, side, back, side, forward, and you see she has a lot of possibility for rotating and making those steps clearly in the direction of the forward, back, and side. But when we take the embrace, the close embrace here, notice how this step is going to change. She's going to go from the back step, back, side, cross, side, back, side, cross, side. So a lot of times when you take the embrace in, instead of pivoting to take a forward step, the follower doesn't have as much room to make this rotation. Instead, the step evolves into a forward cross. And the same can happen on the back cross. Instead of the follower pivoting all the way into the back, she might end up just crossing the foot behind herself. So watch here. Forward, side, back, side, forward. So you see how her step ended up just coming slightly behind her and it almost became a back cross rather than a full back step. So just keep that in mind because sometimes that causes a little bit of confusion. So now we understand what the follower is going to do, the timing that they're going to do it in. What do I need to do as a leader to actually initiate this step? When you are going around your own axis, what you're doing is you're basically acting as a pole, like the center of a revolving door is the line going through your spine. And so what I'm going to do is a very fancy footwork consisting of opening the foot and closing the foot. So I'm just opening and closing my feet as the follower goes around me. And when you're first learning it, it's kind of nice to time the steps with the follower so that you actually are aware of which foot you're ending up and it doesn't get confusing. So you can start it by inviting the follower to take a forward step. So here she is ready. And so when she takes a step, I take a step with my right foot. She takes a step and I take a step with my left foot. Then she takes a back step and I change my weight. And then every time she changes weight, I change weight. And then you try it to the other side. And just change the weight with her. Bum, 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 bum. And that just kind of gets you to synchronize with your follower and feel the timing of the steps. That's going to be for your footwork. So what you want to avoid, this is the most common mistake that happens when leaders first start leading, is the follower goes and the feet are just sort of unclear and you end up disconnecting the feet and the upper body so that you end up looking like this a little bit. So that will help you to prevent that if you follow the footwork. The last piece of the puzzle is, what does it mean to invite the follower to go in the direction that you want them to go, either to the left or to the right. And very simply, we're going to come back to the concept of the embrace. I'm going to indicate with my embrace, so my open side of the embrace here, I'm going to begin to open, and she's going to resist a little bit because that will establish our connection through the embrace, and she reads the direction through the force that I'm introducing. Then she begins to go. And the important thing here is that this level of a little bit of pulling, this level of tension that's in her arm and my arm on the open side is what is communicating the turn. The moment that little bit of tension changes, or I redirect it, that's when the move changes. So I'm using this little pull to indicate, keep going in this direction, and as soon as I decide to change that, I can redirect and dissolve this tension to show them that I want them to do something different. When it comes to the closed side of the embrace, it's very important at this point that the followers know not to let go of this arm, because I am inviting through the same technique here. I decide to invite my follower to go to my right side. I want a little bit of that pulling sensation here. And now we're connected and we're going to go. And the follower is helping me keep that level of tension on that side for as long as I want until I'm ready to redirect the movement. So those are the pieces that make up this movement. And I know it right now, it possibly feels like there's so many details to this, but once you kind of go through this piece by piece and feel it in your body, it will become quite natural because the movement is actually very, very conducive to how your body wants to time and cluster these directions together. So it's going to feel more and more natural the more you do them. Just remember the pattern, forward, side, back, side, and remember that timing, the slow, slow, quick, quick, slow. Have fun with it. Try it out. Let me know if you have any questions. Pop them in the comments below, and I'll see you next week. Ciao.